Okay, so I've just created a new scene and I'm going to import my object which is saved in the, it's actually saved here, saved under models, boot actions, and you can see under boot actions, if I click on this, it shows me what are the different parts that are made of, that there is an animation and it has got an animator. So first thing, I just drag it and drop it here. I got my boot. Awesome, pretty good. I'm just going to look at my camera and put my camera a bit higher so I can see it from a bit higher. So I will pull my boots a bit up because you can see the sole is gone below there, so it's facing me. Okay, so next time I'll turn it around, no problem. I will use one of the scripts from my site for transform.translate and for rotate using input keys. So that's something we visited last week. I'm just going to drop that script now so I can have some action happening. Let's see if it is still alive, the website. So last week we visited moving with arrow keys, and if you missed it, please watch the video. Please, all the videos are there. What I'm trying to achieve is after this week I'll give you time for assessment, and then you have bang 6 weeks for assessments, and I won't trouble you.
You don't know what you've done. Creepy smile.
The basic movement, the way I've done it here is a bit different, but we'll do it. We'll do it anyway. And I'll just make a script here. I'll make a create C# script anim demo. Last time what we did was something like this. We applied the script to the object and we said transform dot translate, and for x, y, z we said input dot get access, and we did horizontal, right? That was for x, nothing for y and nothing for z. We'll do the rotation bit today, or rather let's do the z today. So let him go. You might have to do a bit of a trial and error, but I'm suffering from the disease. I'm pressing Apple X because I use Mac Control X. So 0 here, and this is vertical. So the up and down keys are going to actually move this forward and backward. Now, one thing that we have learned is we can use variables, right? We have used variables. So instead of putting this big thing inside my code, I often do this. Z position is equal to this, okay, and Z position is a float. I will define it up here. Float is a decimal, float Z pos, cool. And once I define it, I can use it. That Z pos actually will take whatever vertical will come. That's the Z position. And instead of typing this entire thing here, input.getAccess and creating a mayhem of brackets, all I can type is Z pause. That makes your code a bit more cleaner. Okay, I'm going to save this, Control S. I will apply this script anim demo to boot actions. And oh, there is some problem. No, boot actions has got the script. Yes, if I play it, forward, backward. That's good. That's good. I just have to change it to minus because my shoes are pointing the other way, and it should be all good. So I'll just make it minus Z pause. Control S. So now if I actually move forward, yeah, so now it's going in the direction of the shoes, and that's cool, right? It's not falling off because I haven't given it a gravity or a rigid body. If I give it a rigid body, it will start saying, oh, this is a floor here, and then it will behave. Right now it is in air. So if you want it to collide, you have to give it a rigid body. Again, referring to last week's tutorials where we pushed an object and we got hurt, went over an object, scored points. So this is a good revision. That's for moving. Oh no. You'll have to forgive me for all of this. And then we have Y rotation. So the body, that's the object, shoes, looking around, okay, is horizontal. So what I'm doing is your horizontal keys are going to give you the rotation. The horizontal keys. But Miles, I would suggest don't be in a hurry to leave. Your class is till 5 o'clock. And you should try and get your team and be here for the entire 4 hours. And that's the reason why things are not working. I mean, you yourself are always in a hurry to come late and go early. So try and keep the whole team together for all 4 hours if you want things to happen.
We've only got me and Kieran.
Yeah, but then that is again, you have to set examples and try to push everybody, you know. But it's really up to you because I won't be able to manage the team after this point. You will have to really do it.
Me and Kieran have done all we can do today.
Okay.
The whole team.
Cool, but yeah, you got to keep them for the entire 4 hours. I mean, you are no longer in semester 1, and we are not here like a school, you know, to keep you. This is a tertiary learning environment. You got to sort of show some responsibility towards your own projects. So I've got Y rotation, and I'm going to define another variable float Y rotation. And Y rotation is horizontal, and this time I'm not going to translate, I'm going to rotate. Transform dot rotate. Vector 3, Euler angles, so it wants X, Y, and Z Euler angles. So it might require it in pi, but I'll see. No X, Y will be Y rotation, and nothing in Z. So there's a transform.rotate. Control S. Let's see how it works. We still haven't got to the part of switching. Forward, backward. Oh, rotates, cool. And goes this way. Oh, nice. So I can now rotate and I can now move on a level. And it's a bit fast. So what I'm going to do is, you might remember something we did. And all I have to do it is divide by 10. If I want to speed it up, I multiply. Control S, Alt Tab, and now yeah, it's a bit slow. The rotation, I don't want the rotation to be slow. I'm not going to divide the rotation. So the rotation is good and the movement is good. Cool. Now the only problem is this looks funny. We want this to switch to walking. Now my walk may not be exact as the speed, bear in mind. The speed of walking and speed of flow, that's different mathematics. Okay, you do trial and error, you calculate the speed, you do whatever maths you want, that's another ball game. Right now I'm talking about the mechanics involved in switching from static shoes to walking shoes when the arrow is pressed, and then from static shoes to kicking shoes when control is pressed. Let's see how we go. So we got this happening. We need to look at this guy here under assets, models. This is what I picked up, right? And you can see there's a scale factor here. If I was to bring back my reference cube, you can see my reference cube is this short and my boots are pretty big. I generally use the reference cube to bring down the size of the models. So if I come back and select my models here, not here, here in the assets folder, you can see there's model, there's rig, there's animations. Under model, I can scale it to about 0.5. Apply. Yeah, so now it becomes close to the shoe. I'll leave it at 0.75 for now. But generally I would adjust my camera and everything at a scale that's reasonably there. And I'll go back to my reference cube, turn it off. Now let the games begin. You see, when we got the animation, see our animations are here. You can see it's playing. When you select the model here, it shows you these things. It shows the animation here. I can increase the speed and decrease the speed. Cool. Anybody remember my frames?
1, 4, 8, 12.
Okay. So what we can do is we can even check it here. You can come here. I'm going to go into edit. So what I've done is I've clicked on this clip here, then I've gone into edit, and here you see there's take one as a clip. I'm going to make a new clip. New clip is actually take one. New clip is standing. So standing, I'll give it a clamp range. Start frame was 1, end frame was 4 or 5? It was 4. It was 1 to 1. I'll leave it 1 to 1. If I play, so that's standing. Good. Should the standing loop? Doesn't matter. It's the same. Then I make my second clip, walking. I don't expect you to remember this. You'll have to look at this video a few times, do it a few times for it to sync. Walking was from, I think, 5 to 15. And walking can be looped. I'll see this. So there, that's my walking. Okay, pretty cool. And then I had my Kung Fu kick. My kick was
20 to 25.
I think David is right. 20 to 25. Oh, it's because of the loop. It's because of the loop.
He's very angry. He's just like.
Oh, I'm just going to reduce the speed of this and see.
No, he's definitely killing something.
Okay, I got a kick. So I've got the clips here. Now I need to do something with this. You will see under boot actions there's a controller. It is this controller. Now this is a property that's added, okay? So this is an attribute and you can add materials and you can add components here forever. Animator is the component which has a controller and the controller controls the switching. This is the beauty of this engine. I'm not a game programmer, I don't like stuff, but when I saw this, I thought, yeah, this is really good. It really encourages kids to make games by making things easy for them. And it's not terribly hard to learn because the Unity website actually explains how the stuff inside the engine is to be used. No other game engine has done it in the past. They've gone, yep, here's a game engine, here's a big manual, figure it out yourself. If you're a programmer, good on you. If you're not, too bad. So this controller, let's have a look at it. You have this animator, and in fact it's open here. This is the animator. That's my scene, that's my animator. Let me create a new animator under assets, create animation controller. I'll call it boot switch. Yeah, good. So now I have an animation controller. Have a look at this. My animation controller is going to set up the switching business. So when I enter this game, what is my state? What is the state on entry? So I have got under my boot, if I go here back to models, I've got various ones. When I enter, it is standing. So entry has gone to standing. Okay. Then I have walking, and then I have a kick. Okay. If I right click on standing and I say make transition, I can drag and drop to walking, and if I go to walking, I can make a transition to standing. Okay, so I've got two transitions, one to go from here to here and one to go from there to there. Now if you look on the right hand side, look at the transition. So it shows you that when you're standing, then you move to walking like this. See, that's going to be the transition. I try to minimize the time by just pulling this guy out and just having the transition take place almost instantly. Or I'll just take this clip, bring it here. Condition. I'll set the conditions in a second. So when I go from walking to standing, also I have this, that's walking, and I go to standing. That's okay. Up here, I can have some variables. I'm going to have a boolean called is walking. I'm going to have a boolean called is kicking. So I have two booleans, and I can set them true or false. Okay. So when I'm standing and I want to go to walking, I can set a condition on the right hand side. On the right hand side, is walking is true, then I'll go. And when I'm walking and I stop pressing, I must say is walking is false. Does that make you see the mechanics? So there's a variable on the left. On the right, I'm saying if it is true or false, jump to this other state. So let me make a transition from now kicking. Can I go to kicking from standing or from walking? I will usually be walking and I'll want to kick. Right click, make transition. Right click, make transition. So when I come here, yes.
Would you like to see your Mass Effects stuff that was done on pre?
I will come. I'm just recording this session, so as soon as I finish. So from walking, I'm going to say is kicking true. Is kicking true? And even from standing, if I click on this transition thing, is kicking true? And you can see there's a bit of a delay. I don't like that delay. I'd much rather have it just here. Yeah. Now, I know how it goes back from walking. Hopefully, it goes back from here as well. Make transition to standing, and I will just say is kicking. False. Okay. So I've just got some triggers here. I've just got the triggers. The triggers will be set in the code. So finally, to match it, I need to go back to my code. And when I'm walking, you see this is walking, I need to set the boolean of the animator. And where is the animator? The animator is here, but I have not added the controller. See this switch walk? I need to drag it and drop it here, or I need to click on this dot here and choose switch walk. Switch walk. So switch walk is now added in the controller. Now to actually use that controller, there is a bit of a script. It's a bit of a trick here, and I'll show you the steps for it. You have to basically call the animator, get that component, the animator, and say whenever I'm pressing this key, the boolean of this controller should be true. And there's a way in which you have to call the components. There's a typical way to do it. And if you read this, it's explained beautifully. Set the variable for the animator. So I need a variable for the animator. I'm just going to switch between code. So here are my variables. I got a variable for the animator. Cool. I'll put this in the comment. Setting a variable for the animator. And then I need to get the component and put that inside the animator. So if you type it enough number of times, you'll remember it. So as soon as it starts, I will say animator equals get component. Is it get component? Get. It should give me get component, and it is arrow keys animator, and because you have done methods, it will end with colon. So the animator is gone. Now since you have an animator, you can do things with the animator. So when this object is moving, you can say, hey, I want the animator and I want a element of the animator. If you press dot, you'll get a list of things that you can trap, and one of those things will be those booleans. Set bool, set bool, set bool, and it says bool and value. So set the boolean is walking, set it to true. Okay, let's look at it. I've got the animator, which is a component. Let me show you. So I've got a component, animator, cool. So in my script, I'm saying I've got a variable to hold the component, animator. I use a method in Unity to get the animator, and then I set a boolean within the animator. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to come here to my scene and test it. Oh, it's already walking. Why? Because I need to set it, initially I need to set it to false. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say it when I start. No. Okay. If I need to put it inside an if condition. If my object is moving, So if z pos not equal to 0, let's see if this works. So if this z position is not 0, that means it's moving, only then you set it to true, and initially you set it to false. I've already said that the starting should be false, so I don't need that, but if I need to, I will put that piece of code. So now it is static, and now it moves, but it doesn't stop moving. I did this in another way. If the logic for that other one was, let's see here, I used a different if statement for this. If forward not equal to 0, yeah, true. Oh, I need an else, otherwise false, otherwise it doesn't, okay, an else statement, I'll give it, no problem. When you get a script running, preserve it, pretty useful, because you can see what you're doing different. So true if there's z, something in the z position, otherwise false. Let's have a look at it, and I'll stop the recording here. But there, you can see that. What happened to the boots? The both
inside each other. They merged.
What happened there?
One, two. We combine and make the ultimate boot. We don't need anything else anymore.
Oh yeah, something happened with this animator component. Let me just comment it out and see if that was the case. But you got the idea, and that script works. So I really wanted to show this to you. And the assignment for the animations are going to be make a action for your axe being thrown. Now usually you can have a little action, and then we can swap it with the engine throwing a projectile. So actions for kicks, actions for this, so various actions. So that will just give you an insight without actually doing the total rigging. But I wanted to show this to you as in how it is used in a game engine. And I'll stop the recording there. Did I stop it? Might have already stopped it.